So the first step to dominating your market is to get a consistent lead flow. The traditional marketing channels right now for wholesale, typically cold calling, RVM, SMS. There might be a couple more, bird dogging, driving for dollars, but these are kind of the three main ones, right? We've all seen them. We've all done them. We're all still doing them. But in my opinion and in my experience, they're a little bit played out. Like I said, everyone's doing them, and these homeowners are getting bombarded every single day, multiple times a day, with these marketing channels. Cold calling, I think that everybody at least once in their life needs to work in the food industry, retail, or in a call center, because cold calling can really make or break you. In the wholesale business that I work for, we start all of our new guys on cold calling to see if they're really dedicated, if they can hack it and do the sales. It really takes a special person to do that. But it used to be the best strategy to reach homeowners. Back in the day when not everybody was doing this, it was easy to, pick up a phone and just do a pitch. How many calls have you been on, though, where homeowners tell you, get a real job, or you're just trying to steal my house? When it first started, it was great, but now there's so many calls. And on these calls, you're just trying to convince people to sell their homes. Like, it's literally cold leads. So, they might not want to sell. Like I said, they've probably gotten tens of thousands of calls and they're just sick of it. Not only that, there's a lot of skepticism with some stranger calling to buy a home over the phone. They want to know, is it a scam? So even though over the last couple of years, especially with the boom of iBuyers over the last couple of years, buying property over the phone has become a little less taboo, but still comes the downfall. Like I said, the homeowners are they yell at us 10 calls a day. So they're either angry that you're now the 11th caller, or they are interested in selling, but now you're competing with multiple wholesalers, hedge funds, Wall Street, that are also calling in order to get a chance to bid on their property. Not only that, cold calling is really labor intensive and it only works once. If you or your VA aren't on the phone, you're not getting a sale. You're not getting a lead. If you're on vacation, or if your kid is sick, or whatever the reason might be that you're not on the phone, if you are not making those phone calls right then and there is no chance for a lead to come in. So it's very labor intensive in that you have to be doing the work. Not only that, it costs money for either a dialer system, or if you're hand dialing, it costs money for the lead generation, the skip tracing, adding all of that into your dialer system if you are using a dialer system. And not only that, then you have to pay for multiple DIDs. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it to make it work. And then you also have the downfall of possible liability. What happens if you don't scrub your list and you call somebody that is on the do not call list? Not only are you now paying for labor intensive cold calling, you have to pay for a hefty fine for calling those individuals. Been there, done that. Again, I want to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's been a very ugly thing, is having to pay someone because we just happen to miss the do not call list. So really, cold calling is kind of on its way out. The next marketing channel that we do is RVMs, or your ringless voicemails. These were great several years ago when we first were introducing these in our wholesale business. This is where you have a recording of someone just saying, hey, I want to buy your house, whatever it might be. But it's labor intensive too on the leads that are coming in. First, you have to have a recording that goes outbound. You have to have a recording for inbound, so when they call you back, and then it all has to flow with your CRM. Otherwise, these leads just kind of get lost. Really, like I said, really, really great when they first came out. However, again, because homeowners are getting bombarded with all of these calls, texts, that they know what's going on. They know what a ringless voicemail is. They know that you're calling to get something out of them. And honestly, the responses that have been coming in lately, less than favorable. If you want to get text messages or phone calls of someone telling you to jump off a bridge, hope you catch on fire, those are the kinds of things that we get. Like, they're violently offensive. That's the majority of the responses for RVM. So I just don't find them as effective anymore. It costs money to, one, get the leads, do the recordings, drop the leads, and then get them back. Time consuming sorting through all of those leads. At the end of the day, my time is worth more than sorting through thousands of negative comments and bad RVMs in order to maybe get one semi-warm lead out of it. One of the last really, really popular marketing channels is SMS or text messaging. This is something that I've really seen an increase on in the last year or two. Wasn't really a big thing when I first started in wholesale. So when it first started to come out, we were just like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is the future. This is the marketing. This is the way to go. Everybody texts, right? Like, this is great. However, not so great anymore. One, network carriers are now blocking any kind of spam text messages. So just like your phone calls, people aren't even getting them anymore. I know when I get spam text messages, it goes into a folder I don't even look at. Two, you're limited on what you can drop now. Before, you could drop as many as you wanted, but now there are so many laws and regulations on what you can do. Typically, unless like you have multiple accounts, I guess you could get around it that way. I'm not sure. But to keep it legal, you can only drop 1,000 text messages per day. Now, this really limits you on what you can do. So you have to have really direct, really concise lead drops that you want to do. And again, just like RVMs, the responses aren't always favorable. I, again, have gotten people to tell me to get a real job. I've gotten unsolicited pictures, so that's fun. Just not the responses that you're looking for. So, what do we do moving forward? How do you get these consistent lead flows coming in? Cold calling, RVMs, text messages, that was it back in the day. That was your marketing channel. That was it. Not really so much moving forward. So let's talk about what you can do to get some lead flow coming through. Okay, one thing that we're doing in order to get consistent lead flow and inbound leads coming through is that we're using SEO. Yes, we're still doing cold calling. Yes, we're still doing RVMs. Yes, we're still doing text messages. That's probably not going to go away completely. But by utilizing an SEO system, this really gets your name out there and it makes your dollar work for you. So here at HomeBuyer SEO, we have the services to do all of the marketing kind of for you and putting your name out there. So one thing with SEO is that you have permanent visibility. What does this mean? This means that your name is always out there. When you have a website that's actually working for you, people can find you no matter what. Like I said, on cold calling, when you do a cold call, you're talking to people right then and there. That's great, but it's one and done. You make one phone call, you might get one lead out of it, and that's it, nothing further. However, when you have a working, active website, people can find you at any time, at any place. You're there. So when they are searching either for you specifically, they might be searching for cash buyer, sell home now, whatever the keywords might be, you're there and they can see you. The next thing is top ranking. What this means is that by using an SEO, you can have a top ranked website by using SEO tactics such as keywords, staying relevant by doing blogs. There's a lot of elements that go into this, and using HomeBuyer SEO, we're the experts here to make sure that your website is seen, is ranked, is that when someone looks up, I wanted a cash investor, you're up there and they're seeing you to get leads. These are people who are interested in selling their home. They're looking for you. You are not seeking them out, trying to convince them to sell their home. They have a home they want to get rid of. They are looking for you. What is better than that, having warm leads fall into your lap? The next thing is online ads. So HomeBuyer SEO will manage your online ads like Google ads, Facebook ads. What this does is this really maximizes the inbound leads that are coming through. So If you're ever on a search engine and you're looking for something, you see the first couple ones that pop up, those are the ads. It's kind of like what that is, like a paperclip. These are really hot leads because, again, these are people who are looking for you. They're going to your website. They are submitting their information because they want to sell. Also, I'm a firm believer that SEO is the future of marketing. Cold calling, like I said, is on the way out. No one really answers their phone anymore if they don't have the number saved. I don't know how many times I've talked to people who have said, oh yeah, I just happened to answer your phone call. I never answer phone numbers I don't know, but I just happened to this one time. How many people are you missing because they don't know who you are? Or they do know who you are, they didn't save your number. They're not answering your phone calls. The way of the future is through the internet. Let's be serious. Everything you do is on Google. Everything you do, reviews, if you want to look up directions, everything is online. So why wouldn't marketing be online as well? So by going through an SEO service, we really can maximize your visibility online, making sure people are seeing you. Like I said, it's the future. HomeBuyer SEO services as well. Just because you have a website doesn't mean it works for you. Okay? I want you to get that through your mind. Just because you have a website doesn't mean it works. It doesn't mean it brings in leads. So you really do need to hire an SEO service because you're not an expert in SEO, right? You are an expert in home buying. You're an expert in wholesaling. You're an expert in cash investments. So let somebody else who knows what they're doing to make sure your website works for you. I've seen so many websites that were created 2 or 3 years ago, never been touched again. Google doesn't like that. So if Google doesn't like that, if they flag your website as untrustworthy or something doesn't work on there, you won't be seen. So like I said, future of marketing, let's go with an SEO service. HomeBuyer SEO offers all of these services included with their packages.